Oh yes, we're back in the box dye, but this time round we're focusing on permanent hair colour, how to choose the right shade at the drugstore and how to get the best results when you're using it at home. And there are other things in here as well, like grey coverage and high lift blondes. So keep on watching as we get into my box dye shop up 2.0. Hello and welcome to the world of Craig. Yes, that's me, I'm Craig, and this is my channel where we get into all things hair and sometimes a little bit of beauty. So, maybe this has brought you here for the first time, hello, or maybe you're coming back for another look. Hello, but so many of you came to see and watch and enjoyed and commented on my initial box dye shop up videos. Shop up videos are where I go out into shops and look at products and we go through the formulas and how you can get the best of them, be it box dye, home hair colour, that's what I call it, or shampoos, conditioners, styling products, etc, etc. But so many of you watched that video and this might well have brought you here. So I thought, let's do a follow-up where we focus on permanent hair colour. I will put that initial video down in the description or wherever it is in the description box for you to have a look at, so you can check that out after you've watched this. But I'm not going to do a super long intro. And if you are new here, just to let you know, I'm a hairstylist and hair colourist with 37 years experience, and sometimes I work with brands, sometimes big colour houses, on formulating hair colour. So I do know rather a lot about it, and goodness knows I've applied hair colour to lots of people's heads. I'm an advocate for you doing your hair at home. I'm never going to be somebody that says it's a bad thing to do. I think everybody should have the best hair that they can. So that's enough of an intro. Come with me, let's get into permanent hair colour in the drugstore / chemist. Ooh. So I'm back in the permanent colour aisle at Boots. Not the biggest selection here, but there is a decent selection. And this video is really going to be all about answering some of your questions that I've had. I've had some fantastic questions in the comments since my initial box dye shop up. And then also helping you with the selection, shade selection, and a few kind of colorist tips as to how perhaps you can make a better selection. So let's get on with it. Let's get into permanent hair color. And of course, before I forget, if I didn't mention it in the intro, I will link that initial box dye shop up down in the description box. Right, let's get into it. So we're over in L'Oreal, obviously. Now, well, not obviously, but L'Oreal is a huge producer of hair colour, full stop. And I just want to mention that I've spoke about it in lots of other videos, that the formulas of these are very similar to what we use as hair professionals, number one. And number two, L'Oreal and Clairol over there. Clairol is owned by Wella, the colour is manufactured by Wella, which is another huge, great big colour house. These products are really great quality. They're about as good quality as you're going to get. So, with all of that in mind, let's talk about these that I've had a few questions about recently. These Universal Nudes. Now these are new. If my phone is going to focus, there we go. Now this is 8UR Universal Red. What I wanted to mention about these, there's some other shades here. We've got, that's Universal Red as well. We've got Universal Lightest Blonde. Let me put this down. What else have we got here? We've got Universal Blonde, 7U. They've chosen to use a letter as the kind of shade guide, which is interesting. Different hair colour lines use different ways of telling you what the colour is. We'll get into that perhaps a bit later on. But I've had a few questions on these Universal Nudes and people saying that they're really beautiful shades and what would they look like on their hair. The thing you need to remember is that this hair colour is a permanent colour. Says it's got no ammonia in it, but it will have something in there that will lift your hair, and obviously it's mixed with peroxide. But the colour that you're starting off with will make a huge difference. So if this goes on very, very dark natural hair, or if it goes on very light blonde natural hair, that will basically dictate the sort of result you're going to get. That's why I think the branding of these Universal Nudes is a little bit misleading, because I've had some comments and questions of people saying, well, I like them, but how do I get them to look like the box? Well, it's not that straightforward. If you had 100% grey hair, for example, and I haven't tested these or used them, so I don't know, the sort of results that you would get without testing them myself. But if you had hair that had no pigment in it, then the chances are is you would be quite close to the depiction on the box. Let's have a little look on the back here. There we go. So we've got at the bottom here, this is what the shade will look like based on your current hair colour. If you are hesitating between two shades, choose the lightest. So I mean, that's a rough guide, but the starting natural colour plays a huge part in the result you're going to get. There's many videos here on my channel that are all about hair colour theory. I will link that down below, and about the colour wheel and how to choose, you know, what underlying tone you are and what level you are, which will help you get the result that you want. But don't just think that this is what you're going to be if you're using one of these. I'm sure a lot of you know that already, but I wanted to go through that. And yes, these do look like beautiful colours. The imagery is absolutely stunning. But bearing in mind, if this is a red, so this is universal red, slightly misleading that they're saying it's universal, because again, not everyone's going to get this result. But if you, for example, if you're very, very dark and you lift your hair using this, it's going to expose more red, so you're not going to be as light as this, and you are going to have a very warm result, much warmer than what's on the box. All worth bearing in mind. Beautiful imagery, big fantastic technology, and really great products. But always think about your starting level. 2 for £15. So whilst we're here at L'Oreal, let's talk about these. Now these are new. I think they're quite new. I haven't seen them in here before. I just interestingly give you a bit of insight. I always come in and do a recce, and then I go home and I do my research before I film these videos. And this is something that stood out to me because I've had quite a few comments from people that want to get a cooler result from their colour. The thing to look at on the box when you're looking at the actual shade is this letter or number, sorry, these are numbers, yes, these numbers up here. Sometimes they do use letters like I've already spoken about. This is the sort of tonal value here, and that's the level. So here we have something that sits at a level 5, which is kind of mid. They're calling it light brown, but I would call it mid-brown. Each colour has their own, each brand has their own way of, you know, sharing that information with you. But here they're saying it's light brown at a number 5, and this is a 1-1, so that's a double ash. And often brands use a 1 to say that something's cool, but this has twice the coolness, if you like. This also has this protective cool colouring cream, so they're telling you again, purple on the box, which is obviously interesting. That's the opposite of orange as far as the colour wheel goes. Gentle shampoo, pH shampoo, and anti-brassness purple mask. Remembering, I just need to kneel down properly because it's quite uncomfortable, remembering that this has that double ash which will counteract warmth. And if you just notice as well that the boxes, the models have deeper coloured hair. So inside this box we have the permanent hair colour. Then we have the gentle purple shampoo, and we have the anti-brassness purple mask. But remembering that it's really this double cool that's going to do the neutralising of the warmth. Okay, let's have a little look at the bottom here. So they're saying that if you have, this is your starting point, that's going to be afterwards. If you're sort of a mid colour, then that's going to be your result. I find these images quite misleading, to be honest. And remembering that this is double ash, that 1-1, so whatever you put it on, it's going to look quite deep and quite dark, because the cooler toned a hair colour is, and the more warmth it takes from the hair, the darker the result will look, because cool colours absorb the light and warm colours reflect the light. I talk about that a lot here on my channel. There are many videos about it. But if you are looking for a cooler result, like one of the lovely humans that's left me a fantastic comment here on my channel, then these might be for you. But they will be very cool, I would suspect, and quite opaque, and also be slightly deeper than you think they might be because of that double ash. But yeah, it's good. L'Oreal obviously have huge research and development, and they do a lot of market research, and they're bringing out things that people want, which is great. Can we take a moment for this incredible packaging, these incredible images? Number one, Garnier, big up to you for the inclusivity, but the images are gorgeous. They don't look photoshopped to death. The hair does look very photoshopped, but the human beings on the covers, on the boxes, that's the ones, don't. I just love the way these all look. And these are slightly more intense results. Interesting, it says visible even on dark hair. That's a kind of clue to the fact that it might have quite a high peroxide level in it and ammonia content in order to get the lift. But I wanted to just go through the side of this box, just very briefly, because it might be helpful. Nourished hair, ultra colour, okay, a unique permanent colour, that's what this video is all about, permanent hair colour, that nourishes and boosts your colour for up to 8 weeks of intensity, even on dark hair. So they're saying it lasts for 8 weeks, but that doesn't mean that it will disappear from the hair. It will mean that it's growing out, because this is a permanent colour. Just checking that that is focusing on my phone, because this is a permanent colour. It's mentioning here that it's got intense colour with an asterisk, shinier hair, stronger hair. So that's a consumer test, this first asterisk here, of 85 women. And then we've got this up to 3 times shinier hair, which is an instrumental test. And then this last one, which is interesting, instrumental test after using the 5 oils conditioner, up to 3 times stronger. So that's because that test that was done on the stronger hair is after someone's used the conditioner inside this box. Oh, nearly out of shot. Inside this box. And that's what a lot of these colours have. They have that colour they have the conditioner, sorry, which I know a lot of you love, inside the box. And that test has been done after using that conditioner. Now, that is a little bit misleading, but the conditioners make the hair slippery and manageable and easy to comb out. So we've got, here we go, down the bottom here, we've got what's in the 5 oils conditioner. Nourishes and restores the hair's visible beauty. The hair is healthy, looking silk and soft to the touch. The hair is healthy looking, silk and soft to the touch. There's a bit missing there, should be silky and soft to the touch. But it's got lots of oils that make the hair very manageable. So I just wanted to go through this with you. Also on here we've got boosts your colour by infusing intense dyes at the heart of the fibre. So that means that this has a lot of tone in it. 521 intense lilac, gorgeous, gorgeous. So there's a lot of tone in it, but like I've already mentioned, because these are also for use on deeper shades, I am guessing, without looking at the actual formula, they will have something, they will have either ammonia or something like ammonia. Where is the ingredients on the bottom? Aqua, yeah, so these are an ammonia based product. Oh, is that going to focus? Come on, focus, there's people in the thing, let's just get that out there. Come on, there we go. So there's ammonia in these, and that's what's doing the lifting. And then it might be a higher level of peroxide in order to get the hair to lift and reveal the tone. Yeah, beautiful. Now, I had a comment very recently from somebody who said, can I use a blonde tint to do highlights with? And of course you can. Now, this is from Clairol. Clairol, the products are made by Wella. Wella is one of the biggest, probably the second biggest, I think, colour house in the world. It's a German company originally, but it's a global brand now, and they make the most incredible hair colour, some of which I use in salon on my clients. And there is a video here on my channel where I look at their Natural Instincts, which is a demi-permanent colour, and the formulation for the demi-permanent, the Natural Instincts, is very similar to Colour Touch. Now this is their SB2 Ultralight Cool Summer Blonde. Again, we're looking at something that the hair is quite photoshopped. 3 tones and highlights. I think that's a little bit misleading, if I'm honest. What they're saying is that this has a kind of translucent result, which is good, but the 3 tones and highlights might make people think that this makes your hair look different colours, when it doesn't. It is a colour that will make your hair a similar colour all over, if you like. This is also oil infused, because we know from, where were we? From the Nutrice over here, which is their big point, is that it has oil in it. And there's a few, there's the, where is it? Here it is. This Garnier one down here, which is the Olia, that has oil in it as well. So they know that the oil factor is a big marketing point. Where was I? I was over here. But of course you can use this to do some highlights with. If you feel that you can navigate your way around putting some foils in your hair, or gently painting this onto a small tiny piece of hair and then laying some tissue underneath, I would suggest that you use foil, because you're going to get the incubation from the body heat. Lots of videos on foiling here on my channel. I do keep telling you where things are, don't I? But here we have on the back this find your colour result. And this is interesting. Oh, there we go. Focus your phone, Craig. This is very interesting because I think this is a little bit more honest, if you like. I wonder if I can put that down, if it's going to focus, not focusing on the faces. Oh, no, maybe not. Let's do that. So this is a little bit more honest with the no, that's not going to work. There we go. With the information that it's giving you. So if you look at the very top, your natural colour is light blonde to medium blonde, and that's the kind of result that you are allegedly, I haven't tested this, are going to get from this box of hair colour. So you really need to be quite light to start off with. Because if you look down the bottom here, the medium brown, this is the kind of result that you're going to get, and I'd say that's at a push. Remembering that these are all look quite cool on the box here, don't they? But if you're quite dark to start with, I would suspect that you're going to be much warmer than this with the end result. What's the tonal value of this? Ultralight cool. So the SB2 Special Blonde. So that stands, I'm guessing, for Special Blonde, which I think is like the Weller Colliston. I don't use high lift tint in the salon because I don't like it, but this is effectively their version of a high lift tint. Doesn't tell you how many levels of lift it gives you. I've already looked to see if it does, but it doesn't. But you certainly could do highlights with that. But remembering that if you are a deeper colour to start off with, and you use this on your hair, then the result is going to be much darker and much warmer than anything like that on the box. Very briefly, I'm back over in L'Oreal because I spotted this, their Preference Le Blonding Intensive Lightener. Lightens up to 3 levels with up to 8 weeks of radiance. There's a lot of marketing in that, isn't there? But I just wanted to show you this on the back of the box here. So this says light brown to brown hair, you're going to get this kind of result. 3 levels of lift. That is way, and I'm sorry to throw shade at L'Oreal, I love what they do. You know, this video obviously is not sponsored, but you know, you're not going to get your hair from light brown to this with this product. You're just not in one go. You would probably, if you get it 3 shades lighter, you know, you're starting off here, which is kind of looks like a level 5, you're going to get to a level 8, and that level 8 is going to be very, very, very warm. Very warm. Why don't I put the colour chart on the screen over here, the underlying pigment chart and the level chart, so you can see. So if you're starting here at like a 5, then you're going to get somewhere like a, to be honest, I think probably like a 7. So it's going to be super warm. It is never going to be like the lovely model on the box. So I do think that is a bit misleading. But if you're naturally very blonde, that would probably be gorgeous, but you're still not going to be like this. I mean, these are so heavily retouched. Stunning, but just be very careful about using something like this to try to get that result if you're very dark, naturally. Something I've just thought of whilst standing here thinking about what to look at next is that these are all permanent colours. So if you have grey hair, the majority of these are going to tell you that they will offer you up to 100% coverage. But they will say up to 100% coverage because some people's hair is more resistant, the grey is more resistant, so sometimes the result will be more translucent, okay? It's worth mentioning that these more vibrant colours that have more tone in them, used on grey hair, will give you a much more vibrant result. Just wanted to remember that whilst I was thinking about it, but these are all designed to give you 100% grey, up to, yes, 100% grey coverage, because that might be a question that you're thinking of whilst you're watching this. Goodness me, it's almost like the display was listening to me, isn't it? You see, this is for Clairol here, natural looking colour in 3 easy steps, mix, dye, treat. I'm sure it's not that straightforward for everybody, and that's fair enough. Sometimes these things can be tricky. Right down the bottom here, 100% grey coverage, 2 asterisks, modelled grey coverage, technical data and consumer visual perception study. So they're kind of covering, oh, there's a mascara there that seems to have got, oh no, what's that? Yes, that's a lash gel. They're basically saying that that's the kind of perception that it covers grey 100%. But if your grey is resistant, if your hair is very thick, you know, very textured, then you might not get opaque coverage. It will be more translucent. But it's just interesting that they're shouting that out loud, and then there's a couple of asterisks. Always look for the asterisks, peeps. Let's have a chat about Schwarzkopf. Now, Schwarzkopf, another huge colour house, iconic German brand. I mean, I just had a look at her and I am slightly shooketh. So this is Midnight Jade. This is a permanent hair colour, okay, urban metallic. So this will be like a sort of, you know, a limited release or a special release from this particular like line that is metallic. Metallic shine, built-in metallic shine booster. This is a permanent hair colour, okay? But these will, and I've already checked, these will be an ammonia-based colour. These are ammonia-based, which is fine. Ammonia is not the devil, and they also obviously have peroxide in. But I fail to see how they can say that if you are dark brown, this is the result you're going to get. The amount of tone in this in order for you to lift the hair and tone it all in one box. Hello, Midnight Jade, all in one box. Imagine when you lift hair from dark brown using ammonia and peroxide, it exposes warmth, okay? So how are you then going to neutralise that and get this kind of true dark green, albeit it's very dark, but dark green result? I haven't tested it, obviously, but I would say you're always better off to bleach the hair, lift the pigment out. Yes, it's a bigger process. Yes, it can potentially cause damage to the hair, not if it's done well and you look after the hair with things like K18, but in order to get a true green tone, you're going to have to lift through the orange in the hair and the yellow in the hair. It wouldn't look like that. What else have we got on the back of here? Anti-fade effect, well that's good, because if you, cool tones with metallic shine and maximum colour depth. So I'm guessing it's a very pigmented colour. She's got coconut oil in, I mean that's by the by. Leaves hair gorgeously glossy for a cool metallic finish. I'm going to put myself out there and say that if you have darker hair, I wouldn't recommend this because you're not going to get that result and you would be disappointed. I have also, what have we got here? Real red as well, that's also a permanent colour. Let's have a look. It's saying that if you are light, focus. Saying that if you are light brown, then that's the result that you're going to get. Again, I would suspect that the result would be more orange because you're going to lift through that orange level of hair using ammonium peroxide, which is in here, and then obviously there's the tone. Also, just worth mentioning that when there's a process that uses a lot of ammonia or a lot of peroxide to get you the lift, the colour will fade very quickly because there's a lot of energy, you know, it's a big chemical reaction. But yeah, maybe I should test these. Should I test these? Should I test them on some swatches? Let me know in the comments. Hello Jade, hello Real Red. So I think that's it for this permanent hair colour shop up. Interesting. It wouldn't be a shop up, would it, unless I'd helped somebody out. Really fantastic mother and daughter were looking at products and I just asked them what they were buying, and the daughter was getting this for their hair. They've used it before, they have naturally curly hair, they love the results. They said the shade really lasted. It was so nice to talk to them, it was so adorable. And it was interesting that it was the curls, because they're a curly haired person, that drew them to the box initially, but it was the tone that they loved that meant they were going to buy some more of it and do it again. Anyway, also, just a quick top tip that I did mention to them, if you do use a bolder colour like this, one of these tones, then you can refresh it using direct dye. And the sooner after you've applied a colour like this, a permanent colour, these are all permanent colours, if you start refreshing it with direct dye or a coloured shampoo that's one of these colours, the tone will last longer. It enriches the tone and helps it to stop it from fading. So just a top tip. But I think that's enough and it's time. Let's go back to mine and just have a quick roundup of what we've seen here today. So there we have it, a look around the drugstore / chemist. I always say that because I'm here in the UK where we call them chemists, but in other places in the world they're called drugstores. And there we have it for my shop up, a look at some of the things that you have commented on other box dye videos to try to help answer some of your questions. And don't forget, if you leave a comment or a question here on my channel, I will always get back to you. But I can't give you very specific formulas or for example tell you what to go and buy, you know, a specific shade of hair colour from the drugstore / chemist, because I can't see you and there are so many nuanced things to choosing the right shade to get the result. As we've seen in this very video, I do have a hair colour theory playlist here on my channel. I have a toning playlist as well, just trying to think what I've got out of the 400 videos. So that does give you more kind of colour theory. But if you take just one thing away from this video, please let it be that the colour that you start with, your natural starting colour, plays a huge part in the result that you get. And obviously, please always follow manufacturer's guidelines. That's really important. And always patch test when you're using a new home colour or any hair colour for the first time, because sensitivity to it is a very serious thing and I don't want any of my wonderful followers to come to any harm. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, you know exactly what to do. What else would you like to see me focus on when it comes to home hair colour in the drugstore? Do you want, different types of hair colour? Are you enjoying this being broken down like this? Let me know in the comments. You all take lots of care and I'll see you all in the next one.